WWF Empire Podcast. Jay here along with... What are your names? Damn, it's been a long day. Lucas and... I was about to call you AJ because you have the AJ on your little Skype icon, but DJ Cast. Close enough.
There you go. You go.
Man, we were just talking before the show about WrestleMania. We're trying to plan a trip to WrestleMania.
Keyword trying.
Lord have mercy. Yes. Trying to coordinate people all across the country to get them to go to one specific spot. The struggle is real. It really is.
It really is. Yes.
Blame Vince McMahon and blame the city of, Orlando.
Yeah. We could blame Florida for a lot of things. I'm thinking of one thing in particular.
Don't even go there.
No.
Bugs Bunny.
We have a fellow.
Bugs Bunny had the right idea. You know that GIF that's going around where he's like sawing Florida off the map? That's right. Just give us the wizarding world of Harry Potter, and you can take all of that other shit. And maybe Dalton too. Maybe Dalton can stay.
Oh man, I was just gonna say we have a fellow colleague, part of this program. His name is Dalton. Let's be nice to him.
Okay. He's not even here tonight. We actually I don't even know if you guys know this, but we had someone who was gonna sit in for Dalton on the show tonight. It was a surprise guest. It was Joey Styles, but unfortunately we had to, release him from his contract. Shit. I didn't even know he was hired here, but I just hired Joey Styles to be a part of PWF Empire just so I could fire him. Because shit, I wanted to join them on the fun. Everybody in their friggin' mama has been firing Joey Styles.
But seriously, for someone where he know that he's not supposed, when you are told by your organization or your boss that you're not supposed to talk politics in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but yet you do it anyway.
Yeah. What happened to the First Amendment?
He's not in jail. So The First Amendment is 100% intact. That is not what the First Amendment is about. The First Amendment does not protect you from consequences from the shit that you say. Technically, you can say whatever it is that you want to. And, you can sometimes keep your job, sometimes get a new job. For example, President of the United States of America. But, I'm not going to go there. But, yeah, if you guys don't know what happened, it was a situation where Joey Styles was doing commentary for an Evolve pay-per-view. And he said on commentary something to the effect of talking about one of the ring announcers that you're looking so good tonight that if the president-elect was here, he'd grab you by the, you all know that Donald Trump.
Why?
You all know that Donald Trump quote, basically joking about sexual assault. And yeah, his ass got canned by Gabe Sapolsky over at Evolve. Then he got fired by, I believe it was Chikara, and another wrestling company. They fired him too. So yeah, one thing that I will say though on this whole situation, it's interesting to see how the wrestling business has evolved, which is funny. Because you look back at something like the Attitude Era, and we know the crazy shit that happened in the Attitude Era, the crazy things that, were actually a part of the script, and, the things that people did and the things that people said. There was a point in time where the wrestling business really catered to a lowbrow audience, the lowest common denominator. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. And if something like this with Joey Styles had happened, decades ago, you would not get people speaking out against it in the way that they are now. Or if they did speak out against it, they'd definitely be in the minority and they'd be shouted down. They'd be smothered out of the conversation. But I, for one, am glad to see like the progress that the wrestling industry has taken and, responding to things like that. It's very interesting to sit back and watch.
I'll just say this. I have no problem with what he did, but he is stupid for doing it in a world where, as you just said, we are, I don't want to say sensitive, but we are more up to date with this kind of language and everything that's going on right now. Come on, Joey. Like, what are you doing? I have no problem with him saying that.
But you're saying with everything that's going on right now, what are you doing? Shit, he probably thought if I said this, I'm going to get a promotion. That's what's going on.
Yeah, like why do you think WWE hasn't really like done or shown anything since Donald Trump's present election declaring that he was going to be the next president? Like, why do you think they haven't aired anything that they did with him years ago? Because one, they don't want to be part of that political mess that's been going on because it's still fairly early. Like, you seriously think they're going to show like him versus Rosie O'Donnell from 2006?
And you know what? I never put those puzzle pieces together. Of course, we do have a president-elect who is a WWE Hall of Famer. Just think about that for a second.
Yes.
Isn't that pretty cool, though?
The
Jay,
next president
isn't that
of the fucking
cool?
United States of America is a WWE Hall of Famer. Wow.
Isn't that pretty cool to say? Come on.
I want my royalty checks.
But the thing is,
though,
like
Joey Styles, that's stupidity at its best.
What Cass was saying, like WWE, they haven't capitalized off of this at all. No video packages, none of them airing, him getting the stunner from Stone Cold and the Battle of the Billionaires. So, man, I didn't even really think about that, but that does say.
Do they have to do that though? I don't think they have to.
It would make sense business-wise.
They don't have to, but it's. You would think that with WWE, they try to jump on every friggin' trend imaginable. Or maybe, shit, they're just late to the game. Like, WWE is that old uncle that's, like, for example, your eyebrows are on fleek. Like, that shit is, like, what, from 2014? And WWE would arrive late to the party talking about it now. So maybe in a year, they'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, Donald Trump. Yeah, let's jump on the trend now. But no, seriously, it's to avoid the whole controversy about the situation, which is
shit. If anything, WWE is early to the party because they had Zeb Coulter on TV not too long ago talking about all the shit Donald Trump has been talking about right now.
Yeah.
So they really can't really have an opinion on this subject either.
Maybe they're just sitting back ashamed, like, oh shit, we started this. We gave him all these ideas.
Yeah.
But, what else do we have to talk about tonight? Okay, I got something. I was watching SmackDown, and anyone who watched SmackDown, you saw the segment with the women's match, Nikki Bella versus Carmella, and Charlotte comes out, and they get into
Why are they not protecting Bayley? Like, seriously?
Well,
why not protecting
basically,
Bayley?
see... Cass just jumped right on it. I know that anger is just building up inside of you. Like, God damn it, I won't even let Jay explain what was going on. I just need to let everybody know that I'm pissed off to the highest level of pissivity. Well, guess what? Watching that, it exemplifies so many of the issues that I have with WWE. The fact that you have a character like Bayley, who is pretty much the moral barometer of WWE. Wholesome, good-natured, just a very warm and fuzzy, fun-loving person. Childlike, even. For her to come out to the ring and jump Nikki Bella, that was a gang beatdown. That's what the fuck that was. I'm surprised we didn't have somebody in the background yelling, World Star, because that was a gang assault on someone. A 5-on-1 beatdown of a defenseless woman, and Bayley was a part of that. There was absolutely no acknowledgement of who she is and why she would be in a situation like that. And one of the issues that we'll talk about a little later is the fact that they have not effectively communicated what is really on the line in these matches and why these wrestlers should give a fuck about what's going on. Why should Bayley betray everything that we know her to be to attack Nikki Bella in a gang beatdown? There was no segment backstage where Bayley was conflicted and they were telling her, look, we got to do this. If we don't go out there and we don't beat them, then we're gonna go hungry. We're gonna be homeless or whatever the fuck it is. Like, for me to sit there and watch Bayley act completely out of character and to not even get a full understanding of what her motivations are, and for WWE to not even try to not even think it's important enough to acknowledge, I had such a huge problem with that. And I know a lot of people out there, they're going to be listening like, oh, well, it was just a brawl. Just enjoy it. Like, I had somebody on Twitter telling me, don't think too much about it. It was just a nice, fun brawl.
You're giving them excuses.
I wish the standards that we have as wrestling fans were much higher than that.
May I? Because I have a lot to say on this one.
Go ahead.
First and foremost, I apologize. I cannot hold that rant in any longer. You're telling me that you are willing to throw out character for matches that have no stakes in them. And I don't know if you noticed this, Jay, but did you notice in that tag team backstage segment, and you know I had to notice this, why in the world are the Usos all of a sudden like getting hyped, not like acting indifferent from the other tag teams? Or why are they all of a sudden, when everybody's jumping to the outside, that the Usos are all of a sudden back to the Us and the O, and they're doing like they're tossing themselves over the top rope, landing on their opponents?
And you know, the unfortunate thing about all of this is, you know, we see characters like Bayley. It happens with her. Like, shit, when I saw Sasha Banks run out and come to the defense of Charlotte, I was like, okay, well, that's definitely something there. These are two people who just tore each other apart in Hell in a Cell. Then, what you just talked about with the Usos, the issue here is that we're sitting here saying, why would you sacrifice this character development? Why would you damage these characters? WWE doesn't even think that these characters are damaged. They're just looking at it just like the person who sent me the message on Twitter. Oh, it was just a fun segment, and they expect us to forget about it once Survivor Series is over. That we're supposed to, you know, those little devices that they had in Men in Black where the fucking light flashes and then your memory is wiped. That's what WWE wants to happen, and that is not something. I don't want to buy into that system. That's not why I watch wrestling. That's not why I consume storytelling in the different art forms. And with wrestling being one of those art forms, damn it, I hold them to a higher standard than that. And once again, I'm on this island of storytelling all alone, all by myself, and nobody gets it. Nobody. They don't understand how fucking stupid this is. And then they sit back and they wonder, you hear people talk, oh, we don't have stars, we don't have this, nobody feels big time in WWE. They talk about how much the feuds suck, and they talk about how the product is shitty, and then they sit around and they accept stuff like this because they don't understand. They can't even conceive the fact that all of these moments add up. It's like a goddamn puzzle. All of these pieces add up to the overall picture, and if you have one area of the foundation of what wrestling is supposed to be, if it's a crack in that foundation, no matter what you attempt to build on that, it's going to be negatively affected. And this is a very small situation. Like I said, after Survivor Series is over, we're going to forget about all of this shit that's going on. But to sit there and act as if this isn't a clear indication of the mindset of creative in WWE, you're kidding yourselves.
Lucas, you actually had something you wanted to say to the people?
No, because backstory here, I've told Jay and I've told you, Cass, I haven't watched Raw and SmackDown, and for good reason. Much like what Jay has been saying, I'll probably be given the chance to elaborate later on, but I'll let you guys, chime me in here on what's been going on with SmackDown and Raw.
Well, pretty much WWE has decided to throw out all characters and everything that's going on in the world of wrestling just because of this whole fantasy warfare thing. Like, here's the thing, people. Here's the thing. We know what they're trying to do, but again, like Jay said, they expect us to forget. Like, and here's the thing. And what sucks about this for me is the fact that I actually liked the women's segment. I just didn't like the fact that they didn't looked at the potholes of what Bayley's character truly is about. Like, they didn't even have her standing on the outside of the ring looking hesitant.
No, she was just right there. As if everything that we've known from Bayley, none of that shit existed. You remember when we were watching NXT and we saw Bayley getting slowly but surely more intense and aggressive as she was preparing for her match with Asuka? It was a path that she was placed on where they said, okay, here's where we need the character of Bayley to be, and here's how we're going to get her there. She actually had a purpose. She said, I got my ass whooped by this lady the last time we were in the ring together, and she took my title. I want my title back. I see how much of a badass she is. I have to step my game up because there's something on the line here, something that means something to me, and I want it back. And if I have to tweak my personality a little bit to get it back, well, shit, it didn't work. But, point is, there was an understanding of a journey that she had to go on. There was no fucking journey here. No journey at all.
Was I the only one thinking that Carmella, when she actually was going to attack the people, that she was actually attacking Nikki Bella as well, and not the actual Raw roster at first? Because I'll be honest with you, she did not execute that right.
Yeah, it was a little cluttered
at all.
If I remember correctly, yeah, it was a little cluttered.
But like I said, what I hate is the fact that I actually liked it because they did something with the women. It's just. You just threw that out there all of a sudden, and you don't think that we're gonna pick up off it. It's confusing.
Yeah. Then we had the Undertaker on the show, which there's some big news with the Undertaker, which we'll talk about in a few seconds. But to have him come back and give a pep talk to the SmackDown team once again for a match that.
Wasted appearance.
It's basically, I wouldn't necessarily say it was a wasted appearance because we did get some big news from The Undertaker.
True.
He talked about WrestleMania was no longer going to define his legacy. And I know Dalton, which it kind of sucks that he's not on the show right now because I wanted him to express this point of view that he had, because I guess he took it to mean that because he's going to WrestleMania next year. That's one person we know for sure is going, because he's in Florida. But yeah, he took it to mean that Undertaker possibly wasn't going to be at WrestleMania. But I looked at it from a different perspective. When he said that WrestleMania isn't going to define his legacy, that's him basically saying that, okay, you know me to be the guy these last few years. I come back just for WrestleMania. He had like a Survivor Series thrown in there too, but you guys know me pretty much to be the guy that comes back just for WrestleMania. You're going to be seeing me a little bit more often. Sprinkle some Undertaker throughout the year, which is cool, but the little sprinkling of the Undertaker this time around, him giving a pep talk to a match that didn't.
I will say though,
I have a little theory about that, by the way, but go ahead, Cass.
I will say though, seeing AJ Styles and The Undertaker in the same ring at the same time in 2016, I thought that was great. Like just for a fan, for me seeing that, like I never thought that would happen. But the thing is, I love Taker. We all love Taker.
We do.
Now I really don't think he's coming back full time. Like if he's coming back full time, he's gonna get.
I am quite sure he's not coming back full time. We can go ahead and nip that in the bud. That's not. It
was like you could tell what he was trying to say, but then you couldn't tell because he was so cryptic. But I think that was the point, to be honest with you. But I mean, it was good. It was good to see Taker, but it's like you're giving a pep talk now. Unless they're trying to use Taker for what he said, that'll lead somewhere down the line. Because honestly, to me, it's like, why would you bring Taker back? And he says, there's nothing to fear, but if one of you fail, you're going to have to fear me. To me, that sounds way too convenient for this angle not to be used for a match later on down the line.
So you're pretty much saying that
going on.
You're pretty much saying that this is a guarantee that SmackDown is going to lose?
If James Ellsworth or if one of those dudes cost us that match, there's going to be hell to pay for me, definitely.
Something shady going on.
I'll be honest with you. I think AJ might do something. We might get AJ versus Taker at Rumble.
Now, you want to talk about... I don't even think that was a dream match for anyone, because it sounds so inconceivable. Like, who in their right friggin' mind would have ever thought that we'd be in a position where we could possibly get AJ Styles versus The Undertaker? But as you said, Cass, in the year 2016, they're in the same ring, and Taker is over on SmackDown now. So, possibly, maybe, I don't know, Undertaker versus
I'd be down
AJ
with
Styles?
that.
Okay.
I'd be down with that.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lucas. Crush the people's dreams. Go ahead.
Well, I think now that with this whole Undertaker talk of him coming back, and supposedly he's going to be, there every week now, is what I'm hearing?
And I wouldn't bet on it. Every week
trust me, I wouldn't bet on that either. But I'm assuming that what he means by WrestleMania not defining him anymore is what you said. He's going to be at more pay-per-views now. I get the impression that what this all means is Undertaker is retiring next year at WrestleMania. That's what I think this means. And I know I'm thinking crazy here. I'm thinking the complete opposite of what's actually going to happen. But there's a reason why I think Undertaker is saying this. And I think that this is it for him. I think they're planning something huge for him leading into WrestleMania. They're doing it early, months in advance. I mean, think about it. Why in the hell would The Undertaker, when he's getting older, mind you, and the years are not getting younger for him, certainly that's not the case. So why in the hell, when he's getting older, would he now say he's going to be appearing more on television? I'm not buying.
I didn't think about it like that, but that actually totally makes sense, because for him to be around more often, you would kind of think that it has to lead to something. I understand that SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, when it comes to the ratings, the struggle is real. They need all the help that they can get.
SmackDown matters.
It does, but as far as the ratings are concerned, we have all acknowledged Monday Night Raw to be the S show. S for shitty. The shitty show.
Yeah.
We acknowledge that, but let's go ahead and also acknowledge the fact that Monday Night Raw gets better ratings than SmackDown does.
For some reason, I still don't understand.
Whatever reason that may be, we can speculate until the cows come home. But the fact is, both shows need all of the friggin' help that they could possibly get. So maybe that's one of the reasons why Undertaker is coming back. And of course, like Lucas said, it could possibly be building up to something. And when I think of The Undertaker and big things happening, there's one match that really sticks in my mind, and unfortunately, it's not Undertaker versus AJ Styles. It's another one.
Yeah, I know where you're going with this, and I'm going with that one too. Trust me. And I think that certain guy is going to be the one to write the end for The Undertaker at WrestleMania next year. That's where I'm going with this.
Now
it has to be the end. I'm telling you, because how much longer is this man going to be around for? And now that he's going to be there, I guess, on a more, I don't want to say casual basis, but on a more consistent basis, it seems, it looks like the reason they're doing this is for one last time to give him this one final run.
Yeah.
Possibly. But I guess we'll keep watching and we'll see. I don't even know why we're beating around the bush. We're fucking talking about John Cena, okay?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so let's see. John Cena versus The Undertaker. That's definitely a big match that WWE can go for. And with them, trying, like, look. Can I just say something about Survivor Series overall?
Go ahead.
I don't give a shit about this show.
Me neither.
Don't. Because you have this...
I only got one match. That's it.
Is that the Intercontinental Championship match?
You might hate me for this.
He's going to say...
actually the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown one.
I thought you were going to say Lesnar and Goldberg.
The one featuring the main event dudes. Like,
we got main event dudes in WWE?
I knew Jay was going to go there.
Looking over on Raw, the struggle is real over there. And it sucks so bad because I look at guys like Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. Do you not realize that is the fucking future of WWE? That's the present and the future of WWE.
Oh,
these guys
and they can't get them right now.
They're young. They're gonna be around for a long time, and I look at those three and something is just not clicking. Something's not clicking at all.
Hey, Jay, how much, real quick, Lucas, I gotta make this announcement. I am official. I'm gonna make myself the official spokesperson for one Braun Strowman.
Oh yeah, Jay, I forgot to tell you before we started the show, Cass was telling me how much he all of a sudden loves Braun Strowman, and I'm like, can you stop trolling me? But no, apparently this is a serious thing here.
I didn't even know spokesperson for Braun Strowman, that was a thing, job, right? a fucking thing. I didn't even know that position was open for I didn't.
And you want to know the reason why? Apparently, he's a Braun Strowman fan.
Why is that?
Because he did a damn kick up.
That's all it takes for you guys.
That's all.
Here's the thing. Honestly, Strowman's actually been doing a lot better. He's actually been doing better. I'm on the Underground Railroad finding liberation from watching Monday Night Raw, but I've seen the clips the other day. Yep, that too. And from what I've seen from Strowman, I gotta be honest with you, it's been very impressive. Like seriously, like they are setting him up for something. Like the 6-man tag that he was in with Rollins, Jericho versus the New Day. You should have seen what he did to Kofi by just literally just picking him up and slamming him, and him just running through Big E on the outside. Like he is so quick. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if he is the sole survivor for the Raw brand on Sunday. I won't be surprised if he is, but yeah, I love Braun. Like Braun Strowman is growing on me. I gotta admit it.
Well, I'll go ahead and say that he was growing on me before I stopped watching. Before I went down that Underground Railroad. I liked seeing Braun Strowman, and there were people out there, I'm going to say no names, but there were people out there telling me not to get my hopes up because they've seen this story play out before where they have the guy, they put him in... And it gets ruined. Yeah, they put him in these very narrow situations that it's like these low-risk situations. They give him a nice push, and then once they try to expand out of that territory and move on into more important things, that the shit all falls apart. So I don't know if that's gonna happen with Braun Strowman, but I can say, Spanky from the Little Rascals, he's been doing well. From
here's the thing, Strowman is pretty much
with Ruin. No, I was gonna say I don't know what you guys are talking about with ruining him. He was never fixed.
But I mean, hey, Cass is sitting here saying that he sees something in him. So
I do. But here's the thing.
I like the hair. It looks nice.
I wanted to say this. He is what the Great Khali should have been.
High praise.
Except smaller.
I'm going that far. Except smaller.
Can I go ahead and join this Braun Strowman club too, just for a second?
Would you like?
I just got one thing to say, then I'm jumping off. He has a fucking awesome voice. His voice, it fits. Because you have some people, I guess they call it the Mike Tyson effect. You see these big buff dudes and their voices sound like, less than desirable, less than what you would expect from a person like that. Brock Lesnar, he kind of has that thing going too. Fortunately for him, he has Paul Heyman to do all of the talking. But Braun Strowman has a great fucking voice. He does.
He can talk. I
didn't say he. I'm not talking about all that. I'm just saying, the sound of the voice. I don't expect that guy to go out there and cut promos and stuff. But whatever he does say, it he could definitely be like a villain in a movie or some a horror movie or something,
Like if you were to play a sound clip of him, basically, you're saying he would be the definition of that.
Yeah, his voice is fucking terrifying.
Okay, I'll give you that.
But yeah, what else do we have? Anything you guys want to talk about?
NXT.
I did not watch. I'm gonna watch like on Saturday. I was about to say tomorrow, but I know that's a goddamn lie.
Yeah. Of course, we got NXT TakeOver Toronto this Sunday, people. The show that will be better than Survivor Series. We all know it, but...
Wait, I thought you said it was Saturday.
It is Saturday.
You said Sunday.
I said Saturday.
Did you? I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Rewind it.
Of course, this Sunday, we got Survivor Series, but again, Survivor Series is going to be 4 hours, which I still don't know why it's 4 hours. But
what?
But
4 hours?
Yeah, Survivor Series will be 4 hours.
And that's not even including the 30,000 pre-shows that they do.
Jay, why didn't you inform me about this? 4 hours of Survivor Series?
Why is it up to me to inform you?
You're the one who's been out of tune.
Yeah, I'm completely out of it. You guys you have no idea. Yeah.
But of course, TakeOver will be this Saturday night, and I cannot wait to see DIY take on the Revival for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Best 2 out of 3 falls. I will be so shocked if Gargano and Ciampa do not win here.
I'm really looking forward to that match too, and I think that would be a big moment if they win. The Revival are so fucking phenomenal as heels. I've said it before, I'll say it again. And it's this great thing that you can love them at the same time. No, it's all love. I don't even love to hate. Well, I guess I'll say I love to hate them because they're so good at playing heels. But they do a wonderful job of telling a story in a match and building up baby faces to where you crave a victory. There have been so many times where I've watched them go up against American Alpha, and I just sit there like, my God, please let American Alpha win. And when a match is over, it's such a weird feeling where it's like I'm disappointed, but at the very same time, like, hot damn, they are so fucking good. And I don't expect anything less than that this Saturday when they face Gargano and Ciampa.
Oh yeah. The way I said this on Twitter. I really think this is gonna trump American Alpha versus the Revival when they had that 2 out of 3 falls match a couple months ago.
We will see.
Yeah. Next match that we have, Bobby Roode taking on the Perfect 10 in Ty Dillinger.
Another match I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, definitely. Ty Dillinger, of course, he's finally. I've been one of the people protesting for this guy to get a big spot on a TakeOver show, and he's finally getting it. However, I do not see him getting the win here.
Of course not.
Like, I can't tell you, like, I was on a site, like, where they show the match listing for live events, and I can't tell you how many times I saw Bobby Roode defeats Ty Dillinger. Bobby Roode defeats Ty Dillinger. like, it's so terrible, but... I mean, at least Ty Dillinger, he'll get a good spot. Like, he'll get a good spot. Like, that's the only thing that matters. But we're definitely going to get a good match out of this one. So, you got Roode winning this one?
Of course.
Yeah. Plus, I actually do think that he'll be the next person to challenge Nakamura for the NXT Championship.
Bobby Roode, okay.
Yeah. Next match that we have, another title match. The NXT Women's title. Asuka defending the title against a returning Mickie James. There's going to be a lot of nostalgia with this one.
I am curious to see, how Mickie James comes back and how she performs and, like, basically at what level of competition is she at versus Asuka? Because we've seen Asuka get in there and just dominate the hell out of people. We've seen people fight back against Asuka and, try to scratch their way into the match. That's one thing that I really like, the way that WWE shifts the dynamic when it comes to Asuka matches. And
you mean NXT does it?
Excuse me. I sincerely apologize. NXT yes, how they shift the dynamic of Asuka matches, and it'll be very interesting to sit back and see what form this match takes with her going up against, the big name in WWE history for women's wrestling, Mickie James.
But obviously Asuka's going to win this because the point of this is to put Asuka over. And I heard on another podcast asking the question, saying that was this an indication that the NXT women's division is weak? And it's not. I wouldn't say weak. Like, it's definitely not weak. It's just such.
No, it is. It is.
Well, I feel as if I can't call it weak because NXT backed themselves into a corner when it came to this one. I don't even want to say this is on them.
No,
because they didn't prepare anybody.
It's on WWE. That's what it's on. But it's the nature of what NXT is all about. Like, I think that you have to, take these hits, and whether you want to accept them or not, that's completely up to you as a fan. But let's not act as if they didn't do a good job telling the story of Asuka and her being dominant. This makes sense. So it's like they realized that they had an issue, and I think that they responded to that issue in the best way that they possibly could have. For Asuka to go around and say nobody is ready for Asuka, she's saying these regular chicks that are here every week along with me and the Performance Center, they're not on my level. And to say, okay, they're not on your level, how about this? Boom, Mickie James. That was a nice response. So I think that while we can acknowledge that this is NXT responding to an issue, I think that they deserve some credit on the way in which they responded to it. And
I'll give them that, but I'll give them that, but I would say this: once we get to that takeover during WrestleMania weekend, they can't do this mess again. Like they
got a plan.
I'm sorry.
You already know.
Yeah, again, and get this. I'm actually hearing that Ember Moon's possibly going to be part of a 6-women tag, like with teaming up with Liv Morgan and Aaliyah to take on Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, and a partner of their choosing. And also, when I heard that was going to be out, I'm like, oh god.
I think that match go in there and run over everybody.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. I actually think that's going to be taped before the show. But yeah, got Asuka winning this. Next match, the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. TM61, which is the stupidest tag team name I've ever heard.
AKA local competitors.
You are going to get so much heat if you keep saying that, but taking on the Office of Pain with Paul Ellering in a cage hanging above ringside. This is such a throwback.
Wait, the manager is going to be hanging in a cage?
In the cage.
Wait a minute. What the hell? Did they talk about this on this week's episode?
It was an exclusive NXT clip online. William Regal was talking to TM61, and ironically, I think they were advertising like a toy cage. Mm-hmm. And William Regal told Paul Ellering that I won't let the memory of Dusty Rhodes get tarnished for you interfering in this tournament. So this is what we're gonna do. You'll be at ringside. You'll just be in a cage above the ring.
Whoa, that's that. Okay.
It's a throwback. I actually looked at some old clips, and yeah, this is definitely a throwback. But yeah, CM61 versus the Office of Pain. This match scares the shit out of me.
I don't know what to say. I don't.
TM61 gets this? I mean... Well, here's the thing. How would you say the way that these two teams have been built leading to this match?
If that's the case, shit, I got to give it to the Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
That's no question.
There is something about TM61 that I like, but they are just not clicking with me. And I so hate that with my tag team fandom because with the 2 out of 3 falls match and this, I'm gonna be jizzing all over this stuff. But
okay, tell us how you really feel.
But I mean, I want this match to be good. I really want this match to be good. Actually, I think they might surprise us. Like, I really think they might surprise us, but I'll go with the Authors of Pain because as far as development, Authors of Pain, I've got TM61 beat by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
So yeah, and also I think Paul Elliott's going to do something to get interfere in the match by getting out of the cage. But yeah, now the main event, the big one. The match that I think should actually have a stipulation, but it is what it is. Shinsuke Nakamura, the NXT champion, defending his title against the challenger, the real Samoan badass, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe.
Oh, it's not his fault.
We know it's going to be a good match between Nakamura and Joe.
Most definitely.
I don't know why, but I feel as if this match should have had a stipulation. Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
Yeah, just to change it up from the last time around, add a little bit of a spice to it. Plus, with the way that Samoa Joe attacked Nakamura, it could have happened. They're definitely. I would not have complained at all if they threw a stipulation on this one.
I would have loved this if this was Last Man Standing. I would have so loved it.
I think that would be a nice one.
But yeah, but let me ask this question though: do you think this is Joe's final match if he loses?
I don't see where he goes from this point in NXT. If he
would have to go to Royal, like he would have to go to the main roster if he does not win, or else, or SmackDown, do they want to?
Hopefully.
Yeah. We don't think with these guys. We hope, but I mean, like this match to me is so weird because it's like I fear what NXT is gonna be like when Shinsuke and Joe leave, because again, I said this earlier. I think if Nakamura retains, I think Bobby Roode will be the next person to challenge Nakamura heading into WrestleMania weekend. But again, I'm trying not to think too far ahead, but it's like when Nakamura goes, who's really going to pay, no offense to Bobby Roode, but who's really going to pay tickets to see Bobby Roode in the main event? Especially if he's going to be the only person that's important in the main event scene of NXT.
Yeah, you are thinking too far ahead.
WWE.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I can't help it. I just worry about this brand so much, but I'll go with Nakamura for the win here because, or unless if they want to like pull what they did with the Revival at TakeOver the End and have Joe become a 2-time NXT champion, but I really don't want to see this feud extend any longer because I really need to see Joe up to the main roster in the Royal Rumble onto SmackDown and wrecking.
Yes, SmackDown.
And by the way, Draven G, Joe versus Lesnar, I'm with you right there. Please.
You want to talk about fantasy warfare come to life? That's some shit I want to see. Not this. I cannot express in words how much I do not give a fuck about Brock Lesnar and Goldberg. And you want to know what's funny? Goldberg did an interview. This dude, something is off here. Or maybe he's like too honest. Maybe I need you to lie to me a little bit. Because I talked about a few weeks ago how Goldberg said he hadn't stepped in the ring in 12 years. Then he just did an interview recently after this last episode of Raw talking about how he tweaked his shoulder and how his body feels horrible. And I guess he was tossing around jabronis on Raw, like security guards or whatever. And yeah, he tweaked his shoulder and his body feels horrible now. People, I understand that there's a lot of shit that you have to forgive or forget to make you excited for Brock Lesnar and Goldberg.
But here's the thing.
Don't get your hopes up. Don't, because it seems like Goldberg himself is lowering expectations. Every time I hear this dude doing an interview, it's him talking about how bad he feels, or oh, I gotta remember how to take bumps, but I'm not practicing for the match. I'm not training for the match, but I know it's gonna be tough, and my shoulder hurts, and
I'll gut it out.
Oh, good luck. I don't know if you know this, but Brock Lesnar, it's not the same Brock Lesnar you faced.
He's not going to go easy on him.
He's going to toss you around like a friggin' rag doll.
Give a time estimate as to how long this match is going to actually be.
15 minutes.
Oh, that's being generous.
A stretch.
Yeah, that's being generous. That's being generous by a lot.
Let's do 5 minutes. I'm good with that.
That sounds pretty fair.
Including entrances.
And here's the funny thing. WWE, for the last month, has put so much effort, so much importance, so much eyeballs on this one match at Survivor Series this Sunday in the main event, and it could really, really blow up in their face.
This could be a catastrophe. It really could.
Wait, you're saying this can really blow up in their face? It will blow up in their face. It will. There's no good side about this match. There is no positivity to look forward to here unless you're like 5 years old and you've never seen this match before.
Or you remember Goldberg from when you were 5 and
exactly.
The nostalgia is taking over.
But if you're a up-to-date fan on a weekly basis, you don't give two shits about this match. And that's why I'm not watching Survivor Series, because this whole show right here is just a gigantic filler and a gap for them to get to WrestleMania.
Except for two matches, because the Cruiserweight thing does intrigue me, and the IC title thing does intrigue me just a tad bit.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Cruise. No, I'm not. The Intercontinental Championship match, and gotta say congratulations. Yes, congratulations to my homeboy Miz. He won the Intercontinental Championship thanks to the eternal ride or die chick Maurice.
That was such an FU to the IWC completely.
Oh wait, yeah. Can I ask a question? Why the hell did they take the title off of the Miz in the first place?
Because I know they realized Dolph Ziggler with the IC title had no importance anymore, so they gave it back to someone who can make it important.
I just remember last time I saw SmackDown, this guy was on a roll, and he was Intercontinental Champion. So what the hell happened?
The momentum started to fade away.
For the Miz? No,
for Ziggler. Ziggler,
definitely.
To fade away.
Yeah, so then why did they put it on Ziggler? That's what I'm trying to...
It worked for like a week.
Yeah.
For like a week, it worked, and I was like, oh yeah, Ziggler. Then I was like, oh yeah, Ziggler.
It's Ziggler.
Yeah, but the Miz, he kept up the fire each and every week. You want to talk about must-see TV, that goddamn Miz. Love every single time that he graces our TV screens. And
can you imagine if he goes to Raw?
So there's a rumor out there that's saying that the only reason why they put the title on Miz was for him to lose to Sami Zayn and take the Intercontinental Championship over to Raw.
No, please don't do that.
I was sitting there going, this is some WWE overlord bullshit. You just gotta get your grubby little paws on SmackDown, take away the Intercontinental. Honestly, that didn't even make sense to me. I'm sitting there like, okay, so they're gonna take the title, put it on Raw, and then what happens to SmackDown then?
I guess they get the Cruiserweight Championship if that happens.
But that's going to be on 205 Live, so it's not even going to be a part of the traditional 2 hours of...
Yeah, and also, think about it. Raw will have had, if this happens, they will have both the United States and the IC title. And that's bad in itself because...
Those greedy bastards.
Yes, seriously, WWE, did you not see what happened the last time you had both those mid-card championships on the same show? Did you not see what happened?
This is one of those situations where the rumors, I can't even get past the point of, because this shit doesn't make sense to me. But that does not necessarily mean that
it'll happen.
No, it doesn't mean that it won't happen. That's what I'm trying to say, because we could sit here all day and say this shit does not make sense, but this is the WWE creative team we're dealing with.
Oh yeah,
and anything is possible.
Oh yeah,
is possible. You could in WWE, in America as a whole, crazier things have happened.
Like Donald Trump becoming president.
Go ahead and just throw it out there, Lucas.
Oh, we're not.
Or the Chicago Cubs winning the World Series.
Yeah, that's something too.
This year has been crazy, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But
will anything surprising happen at Survivor Series? Anything?
No. If Brock Lesnar and Goldberg is a good match, I'd be surprised by that.
But no.
And by the way, Joe James in the chat is saying 2 titles on Raw, genius. This creative team, the fuck. I agree.
But I think they're just trying to pull you in to watch with this whole Undertaker stuff. I actually think that that's just a setup. I don't think you guys should look into that because, once again, I think this is just a pay-per-view that's going to be a filler. WWE just wants the money, so don't be surprised if nothing happens by the end of Survivor Series.
You want to know what I hate about this the most? The fact that you did so much hype for the Cruiserweight division coming to Raw, and then you just want to go ahead and shift it over to SmackDown when they've only been on Raw like a good 2.5 months. Because you know the shit's not working.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, you're just going against for what you did. Like, all the hype. This means the Cruiserweight Classic, the build you did for that just to bring the Cruiserweights over to Raw with TJ Perkins being your Cruiserweight champion. All that, to me, is just for naught because...
the Hobo Fight League.
There you go. Yeah, like, and you just all of a sudden, like, switch the possibility of the Cruiserweight title and the brand itself going to the SmackDown side, which I actually kind of found weird at first because it was like, oh, we're just going to put all our people on the line and we're just going to like shift them over to there without discussing it with them first. So,
well, they're used to, jumping from place to place, so this is just
what I found funny. I wish you guys could have seen this, but I saw the clip. Like, Brian Kendrick was like rallying the Cruiserweight division in the back, and I swear to God that it looked like an abandoned parking lot behind the city wall, because that was probably the most screen time that all those guys have gotten since they've been on the damn roster. It was so funny.
Oh God. Yeah, so we'll see what happens at Survivor Series, or I guess you won't, Lucas.
For good reason, very good reason.
All right, is there anything that you wanted to talk about since you're the special guest on the show tonight?
Oh, you're the reason why I'm tired.
You sure it's not WWE? But of course, there's a lot that I wanted to get into here. I don't know how much time we have, but
you got 5 minutes.
Pick whichever one is the most important.
All right,
because I don't want the show to go on too long. I know what we got to give Cass his gym time.
Right, got it. Don't worry. But Jay, you mentioned something earlier where you were talking about how the main eventers right now, they're pretty much the future in Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Kevin Owens. So we talked a little bit last week kind of about the same situation, and this is my biggest problem with WWE right now, is the fact that on both rosters, on both shows, Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, you don't have a definitive face of the company right now that's carrying the WWE. You take a look at SmackDown, you have Dean Ambrose, you have AJ Styles, you have, I guess, the third guy, Randy Orton, but neither one of these guys, I don't think, are strong enough or hold enough value like a John Cena would, to the point where you can say they're the label of the company right now. They really aren't. AJ Styles is a heel. We all know that. Dean Ambrose, Really? Enough said there. Really. And Randy Orton is already established to the point where you don't need to create another star in him. But Orton has been demoted for the longest time that you can't even consider him in the conversation. And John Cena, he's not even there right now. And then you look at Monday Night Raw, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. Not Dean Ambrose, I'm sorry, Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. That's all you have. But neither one of those three guys either, in my opinion, are baby faces of the company. Neither one of them. Owens is a paper champion. I'm sorry, but that's the fact. Seth Rollins has been shoved down.
I dare you.
I will.
You better make sure your profile picture is on point, though. Yes. If you see Kevin Owens, because he will go off on your ass. He'll be like, I see that little smudge on the mirror you taking selfies in. And yeah, he will go off on your ass.
Yeah, he'll always find a way to. But anyway, Seth Rollins, he's been shoved down our throats the entire year, and they still can't get it right with him. Roman Reigns, same scenario. So the state of WWE right now is not pretty at all because they don't identify. They don't have an identification for the audience. There's nobody for us to connect with. And also, I don't even think there's anybody that's representing the company in terms of the corporate side of things either. So it's just an entire mess right now. I can't get a definitive role of what the WWE is right now.
I do think that that's a big problem as well. The fact that we don't have that face for people to rally around. And
we got Roman Reigns, people.
As I said, we do not have a face for people to rally around that people actually really like, and there's like this groundswell of support. And
we do have one person.
I look over on SmackDown, and I think that The Miz is awesome. I think yes. AJ Styles, he's great as well, but
they don't want no.
They're not faces. We don't have that figure like a Daniel Bryan or a CM Punk or or a John Cena, where it's like, this is definitively
exactly
this is the guy that we root for in storylines, and this is the guy that he's gonna bring the heat. I think that this storyline with James Ellsworth, it has made me like Dean Ambrose more. Terrible. No, it has made me like Dean Ambrose more.
Douchebag off my TV screen.
It has made me like Dean Ambrose more, but this is coming from a point where it's like, I can't fucking stand Dean Ambrose to like, he's all right, So I'm at that stage with Dean Ambrose right now, and with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, the shit is just. It's not popping for anybody. WWE really has an issue with their baby faces now, and I wonder what could possibly happen to put them on a road to recovery or redemption or whatever it may be.
I was talking with our fellow men. I was talking with my fellow men and Dalton and Lucas before this fine podcast had started that I have not. Again, I've been watching Raw, but I've seen the clips. Every time I see Seth, it pisses me off. And you guys know, I'm the biggest Seth Rollins mark on this podcast program. And honestly, real quick, I hate the shirt that he's wearing. One, you're not wearing white pants, so why you even call yourself Seth freaking Rollins in the shirt? That's around the point. But it's like he's afraid to become a good guy every time I see him, because it's just. You show him as a face in the ring, but it's like anytime you have him interact with Stephanie or anybody of that caliber, it's like, can I have my spot back, please? like, can I have my spot back? What do I have to do? It's like he's afraid to show the true happy. Like, they're trying to turn him into that edgy baby face, and I don't think it's working. And again. Where in the world is Triple H so Seth can finally turn full-blown face?
And the fact that you're saying so Seth Rollins can turn full-blown face months after the fucking face turn?
That's the problem.
That's a problem. The fact that, and I was thinking about this, if I was to ask someone, what does Kevin Owens as Universal Champion say? Nobody could give me a fucking answer. We don't even know why he's champion. We can look at AJ Styles and say AJ Styles is a master tactician in the ring. He strategizes. He studies his opponents, and the fact that he has that championship means that he is the smartest guy. You know, he's an in-ring technician, and that's how great he is. And that belt is an example of that greatness. We could look over at the women's championship over on Raw and say the reason why Charlotte has that title is because she is the best competitor in that division. Anytime the lights are the brightest, that is where she shines, and she can outwork anybody in the ring, and she just has that extra oomph that'll send her over the top, and that's why she's a women's champion. Nobody in their right mind could answer, why is Kevin Owens the champion? What does Kevin Owens as Universal Champion prove? And I'm saying from a character perspective. You can say all day, well, Kevin Owens is good in the ring, and he's this, and he's that, and he's awesome, and he spent all this time on the indies, and he finally made it to WWE, and it's so wonderful how he has a world championship. Okay, and you said all that to say what? How the fuck is that reflected on screen when you take into account the fact that Kevin Owens was granted the championship? He was literally handed the championship by Triple H, and then Jericho led him to a point of victory at Hell in a Cell. Kevin Owens standing there with that title says absolutely nothing as far as he is concerned.
And I don't know why, but I was so hoping. I was so hoping when Owens won that championship, I would see NXT champion Kevin Owens again. Mm-hmm. But I should have known better. I'll admit I should have known very, very better. And doesn't this seem to always happen? It always happens. When somebody wins a world title, for some reason, it gets diluted after a month and a half.
And I will admit the biggest reason or the biggest cause as to why this has led to my decision to stop watching, it's got to do with Seth Rollins, to be quite honest, because I just became
watch what you say right now.
No, I'm not going to watch what I'm saying, damn it, because this is true. He has frustrated me so much over these last few months to the point where I just said enough is enough with the way they're booking this guy. Please don't even get me started on that. And then the fact that Kevin Owens has to suffer because of this, I'm sorry, but I am not going to put up with that crap any longer for Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. And yes, I know and I recognize SmackDown is better, but still, because SmackDown, in my opinion, doesn't have that identity either, I'm not going to watch SmackDown either. And again, I'm not knocking SmackDown as much as I am with Raw, but I just feel like right now, neither show is clicking for me in terms of who I actually want to see.
I guess it makes sense if that is the standard that you place on them as a fan. You're saying, okay, well, this is what I need for this show to pop, for it to resonate with me. But I would not put SmackDown in the same boat as Raw. They are lacking that big-time babyface, but they do have a lot of things working for them. They do. Give it a shot.
I'll try.
It sounded very enthusiastic.
Oh, trust me. I have given SmackDown a chance, but I don't know, man. I just feel like also with the time of the year that it is, WWE, they're always known to be filler. So I figure
that's not an excuse. That's no excuse.
That is an excuse. If they're not going to give me the time, why should I give them the time in return?
I know that's right. But somebody said they sent me a message on Twitter because Steven asked me if I was still on my break from Raw, my liberation from Raw, and I said, yeah, I haven't seen any signs of improvement based off of what I've heard from Cass, based off of little tidbits of information I've gotten from Raw, and I don't plan on watching. And somebody sent me a tweet saying, oh, well, these last 3 or 4 Raws have been decent. You should check them out. I'm sitting there like,
decent doesn't matter.
Decent.
He's being sarcastic.
Decent? Like, I'm not spending 3 motherfucking hours every Monday on decent, okay? When I just started watching, Westworld. I got a ton of episodes of that to catch up on. Ooh. Yeah, so decent.
And the whole Trump saga too, right?
Oh yeah, I gotta prepare myself.
Lucas,
to get,
you are
sent back to Africa. I haven't even been there before, but I gotta think about that.
Are you guys trying to start controversy
think about Mike
on the show?
Pence trying to lock me down.
Job.
All that stuff. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, hey, by the way, Jay, we should be proud because Lucas has joined us on the journey of liberation.
Yes.
Drink it in, man.
And when you're ready to get that you'll need to join us on that other journey of liberation too, whenever you're ready.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which one is that one?
You know what I'm talking about.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Okay. So, anything to say before we head off air?
NXT TakeOver. Do your job like you always do it. Survivor Series. Please.
Don't get your hopes up for Survivor Series, people. That's all I'm gonna say.
Alrighty, and that is it for us. Thank you all for tuning in. No phone calls tonight because this was a short show and it's like over an hour. But yeah, you guys don't know that the struggle was real just getting this damn show on air today. So yeah, we're gonna get while the getting is good, and we'd like to thank you all for tuning in and stay tuned on the channel. There'll be something up for Survivor Series. I don't know what yet, but there'll be something there. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll
maybe for TakeOver too.
Oh yeah, TakeOver, of course. Yeah. See, you see the excitement in my voice when I mention TakeOver. Isn't it good to be excited about wrestling?
Yes, it's fantastic.
Oh my God. Best thing in the world. All right. Peace out, guys.
Later days.